Hey there, welcome to Total Chiefs. So, the Chiefs are on their bye week, and you know what that means. It's time to take a breather, regroup, and gear up for the playoffs. Earning that number 1 seed, that's basically like securing a playoff win already. But now, the big question is, what adjustments should Andy Reid and the team make to ensure a smooth ride to the Lombardi Trophy? We're diving into all of that today, but first, let me ask you something. How long have you been a Chiefs fan? Were you repping red and gold back before the Mams era? Or are you a newer fan who hopped on during the Super Bowl wins? Either way, we're glad to have you here. If you've been around since the beginning, hit that like button. And if you're a newer fan, no shame, drop a comment and let me know when you started cheering for the Chiefs. In today's video, we'll focus on 3 major areas the Chiefs need to address during this bye week. Getting Isaiah Pacheco back to beast mode, figuring out the left tackle situation, and making sure the team stays healthy for the playoff push. Stick around because these are critical for what's next. Alright, let's dive into our first topic, Isaiah Pacheco and the running game. Alright, let's talk about Isaiah Pacheco, the heartbeat of the Chiefs' running game. When this guy is healthy and firing on all cylinders, he's easily one of the top running backs in the league. Think back to last season's playoffs. Pacheco was unstoppable, 313 rushing yards, nearly 4 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns. That's the kind of energy we need to see again if the Chiefs are going to bring home another Lombardi Trophy. But here's the thing, we haven't seen that version of Pacheco in a while. Sure, there have been flashes, like that jaw-dropping run against the Raiders, but it's been inconsistent since his injury earlier this season. And let's be real, the Chiefs are at their best when they establish the run. It opens up everything else, making life so much easier for Patrick Mahomes and the passing game. Now, here's where I need you to weigh in. Do you think Pacheco will return to his dominant form in the playoffs? Type Y for yes or N for no in the comments. Let's see where Chiefs Kingdom stands on this. If you're like me, you're probably thinking about that week 2 performance against the Bengals. That's the kind of energy we need to see, a relentless runner who can break defenses and control the clock. What's your favorite Pacheco moment? Drop it below, I'd love to hear what you think. The bottom line is this, if Pacheco can get back to his old self, the Chiefs are going to be nearly unstoppable. But it's not just about him, it's about how the entire team rallies around the run game. Speaking of the team, let's shift gears and talk about a challenge that's been holding the offense back all season, the left tackle position. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the left tackle position. This has been a puzzle all season for the Chiefs, and honestly, it's one they need to solve ASAP. If you've been watching closely, you know this spot has been a revolving door. From Donovan Smith's struggles earlier in the year to DJ Humphrey stepping in, it feels like we've been searching for stability. Here's why this matters so much: protecting Patrick Mahomes. He's already been sacked 36 times this season, a career high. Let that sink in for a moment. Remember the Super Bowl against the Bucs a few years back? Mahomes was running for his life the entire game, and it cost us big. That's the nightmare scenario we need to avoid this postseason. Now, let me ask you, how confident are you in the Chiefs' offensive line? On a scale from 1 to 10, where do you stand? Personally, I'd give it a 6. It's not a total disaster, but there's definite room for improvement. Drop your rating in the comments, and let's see how Chiefs Kingdom feels. Looking at the numbers, DJ Humphrey's return against Denver wasn't exactly inspiring, a 10-point to pass blocking grade. Yikes, but his run blocking was solid, which is at least a silver lining. The challenge now is finding a balance. Do we stick with Humphreys and hope for improvement, or do we consider moving Joe Thuney back to left tackle, even though it's not his natural position? Andy Reid and the coaching staff have a big decision to make here, and honestly, I trust Reid's judgment. The man's a genius when it comes to figuring out personnel, but the clock is ticking, and this bye week is the perfect time to get it sorted. Speaking of the bye week, It's not just about fixing issues, it's also about getting the team healthy. So let's talk about how the Chiefs can use this time to heal up and prepare for the playoff grind. Let's take a moment to appreciate this. The bye week isn't just a reward for securing the top seed, it's a crucial window for the Chiefs to get healthy and reset. And honestly, this might be the difference maker for the postseason. As well as I do that, a healthy Chiefs roster is a scary sight for any opponent. Take a look at the injury list. Chris Jones, Jawan Taylor, Isaiah Pacheco, Trent McDuffie, and Shamori Connor are all dealing with various issues. And, of course, Patrick Mahomes had that minor ankle scare. The good news? Everything we're hearing suggests these guys are trending in the right direction. By the time the divisional round rolls around, we could be looking at a fully loaded lineup. Here's a quick question for you. Which injured player do you think is the most critical for the Chiefs' playoff run? Is it Chris Jones anchoring the defense, or maybe Pacheco getting the run game back on track? Drop your pick in the comments. I'm curious to see where you stand. Now, while the rest is great, there's one thing we have to be cautious about: rust. The starters won't have played a meaningful snap for almost 25 days by the time they hit the field again. That's a long time in football, and staying sharp will be key. Andy Reid is a master at managing these situations, but it's something to watch as we move forward. Mahomes put it perfectly when he said this bye week is about getting that extra kick for the playoff grind. This team has been through a gauntlet of games since their early bye in Week 6, and this is their chance to recharge for what's ahead. And speaking of what's ahead, how far do you think the Chiefs will go in the playoffs? Personally, I'm feeling confident about another Super Bowl win. But what about you? Let's hear your predictions in the comments. AFC Championship, Super Bowl champs, let's get the conversation going. Now, with health trending up, it's time to shift gears and focus on what this means for the team's chemistry and playoff execution. Alright, here's the thing: having a healthy roster is great, but it's not enough. Chemistry and execution are what turn a great team into champions. And for the Chiefs, this bye week is the perfect opportunity to refine those elements. Think about it. The postseason isn't just about talent. It's about every player being on the same page. Look at Patrick Mahomes and his connection with the receivers, whether it's Travis Kelce, Rashee Rice, or Sky Moore. These moments of synchronization are where games are won or lost. And if you remember last year, the Chiefs thrived because they trusted each other and executed when it mattered most. Here's a quick poll for you. Which duo do you think will be the most crucial in the playoffs? Mahomes and Kelce, Pacheco and the O-line? Maybe Chris Jones leading the defense? Let's see your picks in the comments. Now, one area that deserves special attention is the offensive game plan. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy have a track record of crafting brilliant playoff strategies, and I have no doubt they're cooking up something special. But the question is, how do they incorporate the lessons from this season into their approach? For example, the run-pass balance. We've seen how effective the Chiefs can be when they establish the run. It's not just about stats, it's about keeping defenses honest and opening up opportunities for Mahomes to do what he does best. And let's not forget about the defense. Steve Spagnuolo has done an incredible job with this unit, and the chemistry on that side of the ball is just as important. Whether it's stopping the run or creating turnovers, everyone needs to be locked in. So here's one last question for you. What do you think the Chiefs' biggest key to playoff success will be? Drop your answer below, and let's get the conversation going. With the bye week setting the stage, all that's left is to bring it all together and focus on one goal: hoisting the Lombardi Trophy once again. It all comes down to this: the journey to another Super Bowl title. Everything the Chiefs have worked for this season has led to this moment. And you know what? They're built for this. Think about the challenges they faced, the injuries, the tough losses, the adjustments. Each of those moments has prepared this team for the grind of the playoffs. It's not just about talent, it's about resilience, focus, and a championship mindset. This postseason, the Chiefs have the tools to make another deep run. A top-tier defense, a creative offensive scheme, and a quarterback in Patrick Mahomes who thrives on the biggest stages. But the competition will be fierce. Teams like the Bengals, Bills, and even some surprise contenders won't make it easy. So, here's the big question for you. How confident are you that the Chiefs will win it all this year? Drop a percentage in the comments. 100%, 75%, let's hear it. One thing's for sure, this team is ready to write the next chapter of Chiefs history. And as a fan, you're a part of that story. Your energy, your support, your voice, it all matters. So whether you're watching the game at Arrowhead or cheering from your couch, know that you're making a difference. And hey, let's make it official. How far will the Chiefs go this year? Divisional round, AFC Championship, Super Bowl champs? Hit the comments and let's see those bold predictions. The playoffs are here and it's time to lock in. The road to the Lombardi Trophy starts now. Let's go, Chiefs Kingdom, this is our time.